Hello, welcome everyone to a new and exciting Fix My List. We are here in our new home on a Thursday morning. Jack, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, Thursday, I'm trying to figure out a way to make it alliterative. You know, Thursday, fix my list. You know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really work. But I'm
really flow off the tongue.
I'm working on it. We'll see.
I'm sure you can fix that title at some point.
Yeah.
Until then, maybe stick to the list, you know?
Well, it's just been Thickmas, you know?
So of course.
It's the Thickmas season.
Yes. Oh, jeez. All right. So, yeah, we're really happy to be here. We're excited. We've got a couple of new lists to go over today. Talk about how we're going to shift them into the new Arcs of Omen meta. Because, of course, everyone is talking about the new hotness, unless you're going to LVO, at which point you're thinking about the new hotness and also still talking about it, but you're also thinking about it.
There is an LVO list in here that will be updated to the new meta. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to it, personally.
As am I. So let's tell people how they get their lists on Fix My List before we fix the list on Fix My List.
Right.
And
that's essential.
Obviously, we know that's coming.
Yeah.
So how you do it is you post your list in the Fix My List section of the Art of War Discord. And of course, that opens up the question, how do you get in the Art of War Discord? Easy. First up, you're watching this on YouTube. So go down below and click on that little membership button.
It's easy. You fix the Batman.
It's simple. You fix the Batman. No, you just go down below. First of all, hit the like button, while you're traveling. But then go to the subscribe button, become a member, and that'll automatically give you access to the Art of War Discord, where, boom, you can submit your list to be fixed. Secondly, of course, is to go to our website, theartofwar40k.com, and if you become a member of the War Room, or if you even go to Patreon and get our full podcast bundle, any of those will also get you in the Discord. The War Room is a fantastic place. It's where a lot of high-level players such as myself, Jack, Nick Nadavati, Richard Siegler, and many, many more are there to teach you everything you need to know about getting better at the game and hobby that we love. It's a fun global community that's really positive and focuses on just improving at Warhammer.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I'm jonesing for a fix, John.
Oh, you're going to get your fix.
I need my fix.
You're going to get your Thursday fix. And that is because, first up, we are fixing a list from Miles Engroff, and this is a White Scars Arcs of Omen detachment.
That's right. Yeah, this is an Arcs of Omen detachment. We got that sweet 6 fast attack. Mm-hmm. Yep, still has 3 troops. Has a Chapter Master on a bike with Thunderhammer, Storm Shield, Rites of War. We got a Primaris Chaplain on bike with Master of Sanctity, Wise Orator, Canticle of Hate, and Litany of Faith. It's 135. That's for the extra 2-inch charges, plus 3-inch Prowling Consolidate, and the 5-up Feel No Pain aura against mortal wounds. Yeah. Then we have Corsaro Khan at his new breakpoint of 100 points. It's a nice place to be.
100 points is pretty easy.
It's pretty cheap.
Pretty nice.
Pretty cheap. We got 5 Infiltrators with a Helix Gauntlet. We've got 2 units of 5 Assault Intercessors with Thunderhammers and Plasma Pistols. We've got 3 Aggressors with Bolters. Damn, 90 points.
90
points. That's cheap.
Yep.
Speaking of which, 18 Plasma Inceptors for 240 points apiece.
That's also pretty nice.
Who said White Scars were a combat army, eh?
They don't have to be.
And then 3 Landspeeder Thunderstrikes and a Whirlwind.
All right. Lots of really good stuff here. A lot of this is leaning into the typical White Scars stuff. And you know what? I'll give a plug right here. If you maybe want to hear more about White Scars, I actually already did a State of Faction video for White Scars in the Art of War Worm. It's already up and live. So if you're watching this as a Worm member, maybe you like what you're hearing, you want to check out a little more White Scar action, head over to the Worm. Check it out. All right, so let's dive in here. So 18 Plasma Inceptors, boy, that is a number right there.
Yeah, that's only, what, 720?
Yeah.
For 18 Plasma
Inceptors? No, that's not the part of the list I'm going to fix.
that part is fixed. It's the only way to fix it more would be to go to Games Workshop, change the maximum squad size on Inceptors in the new codex, in the same codex, I assume.
Whenever we get new...
Well, I'm thinking you get in the... This is a long bit now.
Yeah.
You get in the middle of, like, production run of new Space Marine codexes. Not, like, a new codex, but, like, new ones that are going out to print every day. And you change the squad size to 10. Then you can get up 30.
Yeah, I think GW
go in there with, like, a Sharpie.
I think GW is going to fix Inceptors in a different way, but enjoy it while you can.
Yes.
So I'm really liking this list. I love Inceptors. I love Shooty. I love adding Land Speeders. Storm Speeders. Or Land Speeder Thunderstrike. That's a Storm Speeder Thunderstrike.
That is a Storm Speeder Thunderstrike. It's the best of both worlds.
It is. But I love adding those kind of elements to a White Scars list and just keeping it fast. I feel like this list, though, is not entirely sure what it wants to do. Because it is taking a lot of units that are shooty, and it is taking a lot of characters that want to buff combat people. Khan, for example. Khan is awesome. I love Corsaro Khan. He's really great at taking a good melee unit and making it more reliable.
Yeah.
Because he gives +1 to wound on the charge. Yep. There's not a lot of melee units here to buff.
No, I mean, White Scars, you can stack enough stuff to make, like, even Inceptors pretty scary in combat.
Yeah,
but
100 points is 100 points.
If you're going this heavy into shooting, I don't really see it, personally.
Yeah, I think he has one too many HQs for that scenario. Also, he doesn't... there's a Whirlwind.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a Whirlwind.
Yeah, that's the elephant in the room. So, while the Whirlwind has some value, what it's most obviously there for is just, chuckling around and occasionally hitting someone to make them fight last before they charge you. Here's the problem. You don't have units that are like, oh man, if I get to fight before you, it's going to be like death.
It's over. It's all over now.
Yeah, because you've got like minimum a couple minimum troop squads, and then like a 3-man aggressor.
Yeah.
That's all like, yeah, that's annoying if that swings first, but it's not 125 points annoying if it swings
125
first.
points and a CP.
Yeah. So I've got some theories here. I think first thing that this list wants, just desperately, is an apothecary.
You think so? Oh, because 18 plasma
He's 18 plasma inceptors.
My bad.
My bad. Find a use for that guy.
I mean, I guess. I feel like they're going to be running everywhere in 3-man squads, and when your opponent actually manages to get to them, they're going to die.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll kill yourself and just hang around waiting to be healed.
That is so stupid. And
you're
also,
totally losing an Inceptor a turn just by firing them.
I know. 18 Inceptors do not get to shoot without one of them rerolling a 1 into a 1.
Yeah, no, this just happens every time. So the first thing I want to add is definitely an apothecary. Now I'm actually of the strange opinion that you don't even have to make him a chief apothecary. I don't even think he needs selfless healer. But I like to have the option. Sometimes I'm just willing to pay a CP to get a guy back. I mostly want the feel no pain because there's going to be a little bit of 3 damage in the meta.
Yeah, there's going to be a decent amount, for sure.
I actually kind of like the idea of taking the primary apothecary with the relic that gives him +3 inches to auras.
Then that goes up to 6.
So
I don't think you're keeping that many Inceptors in your range.
Not that many.
If they're combat squatted.
By some of them.
For
and
sure.
I still think it's value.
It's fine.
It's also going to synchronize with the more aggressors that are going to end up in this list.
There we go. Yes, I want more of that. I want more combat or more just board presence than just Inceptors. Inceptors you can push into, you take a round of shooting, but that's it.
Yep.
Not fun, but armies can push into you. But if you have Inceptors shooting you plus combat, then you have to get through the combat, then Inceptors shoot you again. It's like, oh, that is significantly worse.
Absolutely. So I like that there are Thunderstrikes in here. From experience, though, I feel like 3 is the wrong number. Really? I actually kind of want to go to 2.
Okay.
I like, again, the pros of Thunderstrikes here, for anyone who's not aware, is that they're a ballistic skill 2 storm speeder, and they have relatively long range guns.
Yeah, their guns are quite good.
Yeah, so the storm speeders are very good, and this one needs buffs the least, because you're noticing that there's no way to give them rerolls, it's not Master Artisans, this is just the profile of a storm speeder. It doesn't get anything by being White Scars.
But it is a good profile.
But it's a good profile.
It's basically 3 last cannons, one of them is strength 10, they hit on 2s, and then 2d3, strength 7, AP1, 2 damage.
Yeah, no, perfectly great shooting. I love storm speeders.
Yeah. Really broken in Iron Hands, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Great in Iron Hands, but
that's a whole nother talk.
Still good enough to take here, but I'm feeling like you don't want 3 of those. I think 2 is enough. Just to free up some points to get a little bit more of a center. Because there is no center to this White Scar list, and there doesn't have to be a center to a White Scar list, but you have brought characters that want to be in the center.
Yeah, the characters want there to be a ball.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to take any of these characters,
Sure,
right?
we could cut Khan and then go for a more dispersed.
Yeah. I mean, you could make like a mech shooty build of White Scars, but I don't really see why that would exist in White Scars as opposed to anything else.
18 Inceptors is why that exists.
I mean, sure.
White Scars have good Inceptors, man.
White Scars love their Inceptors.
So there's 2 directions we could take this, actually. Either way, I think the Whirlwind's gone.
Yeah, Whirlwind is out already.
The Whirlwind only matters if you have really good, beefy melee that could get charged and then the fight last matters.
Or you're charging in real ways in multiple places on the board, and you want to make one of them fight last.
Doing either.
No, I think the Whirlwind's out, and in my mind, the 2 units of Assault Intercessors are also out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't mind the Assault Intercessors, but they're
one of those could be 3 aggressors.
Yeah, no, I am seeing there is a problem with that.
It could just be 3 aggressors.
Burgosaurus should be buying Thunderstrikes for their Ultramarines, yes. One day, we're going to try to get... someone submit an Ultramarines list, by the way, for me to fix. I've got a lot of Ultramarines ideas that I want to talk about.
Yeah, John is jonesing for those
I
UMs.
am, so someone submit an Ultramarine list, and it'll probably get picked, honestly.
I mean, you can also just have your Ultramarines and take them to a tournament and say they're Iron Hands. It's fine. Mm-hmm. People just aren't as on their high horse about that anymore. It's fine. Nobody wants people to repaint their armies when they're nice looking or they put effort into them.
Agreed. All right, so we're cutting the Whirlwind for sure. Would we rather, we think, try to build this list to make Khan's inclusion more relevant, or would we like to keep it more dispersed and because we could do this either way. Like, we could add more units that are fast and don't require a center by cutting the Whirlwind and Khan. That's 225 points. Which does get you a pretty respectable amount of stuff.
In my opinion, that's a more interesting direction to take the list.
Okay.
Because it's not hard. If you want to build a Glom the center, first off, you can look at your list that you played into Nyx Demons.
Yeah.
Perfectly reasonable way to play that. Another thing is just take 18 aggressors, 18 inceptors, and build a list from there. And probably a unit of Terminators, which I think was roughly your list.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, that's what you do. You just take 18 Inceptors, 18 Aggressors, and 10 Terminators, and then you build in those characters, and then Infiltrators, and if you have any points left over, which I doubt, you will do other stuff with them.
Yeah. Okay, so let's try to make this a little bit more mobile, because I like the idea of doing that.
Yeah, mobile.
So our fast attacks are maxed, and that's okay.
Fast mass attacks.
I think Khan.
Fast attacks.
As much as I love Khan's one of my favorite named characters in the game, and I personally include him because I do it a slightly different way than this. But I think Khan can go, and the Whirlwind can go. We can keep that Chapter Master on bike.
Does Khan get you an extra CP back if you remove him? Because
negative.
Are you able to take him with a Chapter Master?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't take 2 captains. Chapter Masters are not captains.
Got it. Cool.
You can take a Chapter Master captain, no fee.
Okay. So Khan gone, Whirlwind gone.
Do we need a Primaris Chaplain on bike?
At this point, no. If we're planning on splitting up,
I think I still want him because he's fast and I like Mortal Wound defense. And I think I'm still going to include some fast elements.
But that's all he does. All he does is 5 up against mortal wounds.
He does give reroll hits still.
In combat?
Yeah.
True. What combat elements are we looking to put in?
It's about making the non-combat elements credible.
So Inceptors run in with AP 1-2 damage in combat and reroll hits.
And also I was going to still include a couple of aggressors.
Yeah, fair enough. The reason why we're cutting Khan and keeping the Chaplain is the Chaplain moves 14 inches.
Yes.
And 20 if he chooses to advance. And he can advance in charge? There's not, right. I always forget. Yeah. It's like, it's not like infantry get to advance in charge. No. It's everyone. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Landspeeder Thunderstrikes advance in charge check. Come on.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, they're damage 2 on the charge.
I can't keep up. They're too fast. No, if the Primaris Chaplain on bike moves 20 inches and charges, he goes to wherever on the board he feels like, gives +2 inch charge or reroll hits or 5 up Feel No Pain or whatever, and hands out damage across the board.
So let's just take a quick peek at this. So we've got Khan at a hundo and a Whirlwind is 125. So we're at 225. We're keeping this Chaplain in for now. At least one of those Intercessors is getting the axe. Probably both.
I think both are getting the axe.
Yeah, honestly, let's just add both in, and we may end up putting another troop in, but I don't think it's going to be Assault Intercessors. So we've got 395 to play with.
So we're keeping the Inceptors, Thunderstrikes, Chaplain on bike, Chapter Master on bike. Yep.
And we have an Infiltrator squad in.
We have an Infiltrator.
There's currently still the 3 aggressors in. So if we're...
I do, just for the record, I do also probably want a captain in here, just because this list is, so thirsty for reroll ones.
Yeah.
Like a captain on a bike who's fast.
If we're taking a captain, I would take Khan, because he's a budget.
I kind of just want one on a bike with a bigger base and who moves faster, goes 20 inches, advances,
My logic here was that the Chapter Master can hand 1 unit rerolls and then sprint in the direction of other guys. So one squad can always break off, and then you've got the Chapter Master on bike hanging out with other Inceptors.
That works.
Yeah,
if that's enough, then that's enough.
I think that's enough, personally.
Literally, the Chapter Master just babysits Inceptors all game to make sure that they turn the guns on their opponents and not themselves.
Absolutely not themselves, under no circumstances.
Yeah.
Themselves. Okay. So with 395 here, we're out of fast attacks,
Which is unfortunate.
because that's what I actually want more of here. How do we feel about... So Vanguard veterans are 115 with no war gear. I am kind of inclined to just hand some of those Vanguard veterans Lightning Claws, no Storm Shield, and just take like 10 of them anyway. Because if you need to, you can always chapter master them, then they just go missile off with full rerolls to hit and wound. Get to damage too. Because correct me if I'm wrong, the Lightning Claw is 3 points?
Yes. So Jump Pack Lightning Claw is 26 points a model.
Yeah, so you're looking at 257, or sorry, 254 for 2 5-mans. Because you don't buy a Lightning Claw for the Sergeant, he gets the Relic Blade for free.
Oh, the Relic Blade is free.
The Relic Blade at free is pretty good. I kind of like that as like that's not too expensive for me.
It's about the same points as it was before, and it got worse because no Armor of Contempt. I don't really like Vanguard veterans right now.
I feel like we still want some fast combat. The fact that it's worse than before doesn't change that it's a need.
I just don't. I don't know if it's a need, but I'm okay with putting it in. I just don't think it's a need in this list.
We could squeeze Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators. If we did, I think that'd be more of the keeping the con in kind of list. Which I'm not opposed to.
What I want is for this to end up being a shooting army that like randomly pulls combat out of its butt and just is like, here you go.
Yeah, I just want to have like a couple like 5-man just Van Vets that just sometimes zoop.
I mean, I want more shooting because it's going to be like, it's going to be some stiff competition in the shooting department.
So like, but like the real question is, what shooting are we getting in this list? We could put in. The reason I'm not considering Outriders is because we have 6 fast attack slots.
What about?
We could take Eradicators and put them in
Eradicators.
free reserves.
Yeah, is there a way to also advance and shoot them?
Nope. Because if you advance an Eradicator, it no longer can double shoot.
Oh, right.
So Eradicators don't synergize with Light Scars at all.
Yeah, my Black Templars Eradicators never advanced.
Yeah, nope. That's not the choice.
Not with heavy melter rifles and whatnot. That's
and then you arrive from reserves and you take a heavy penalty if you
we could do the most boring choice on the face of the planet.
If you say Hellblasters, I swear to God.
I was not.
Excellent. Okay.
Don't worry. That is the most boring choice on the face of the planet.
Now, once you have Storm Speeder...
Hellblasters are not boring. They're just bad.
Yeah. Devastators and a Rhino, I love them, but that is an expensive thing to add here.
I mean, it went down 10 points, and I said it was expensive before. You're like, oh...
Yeah, there's just better options now.
So the Red Thirst Outriders would be a solid option if fast attack slots were free. Fast attack slots are not free.
Yep. Yeah, agreed.
Unfortunately.
Outriders are definitely worth considering. I feel like I would rather have the fast melee here.
I mean, I'm not here to just...
You're not trying to make White Scars just a shooting army. Like, you just can't. Like, you can, it's just at that point you switch chapters.
I'm just not enthused about them in any way, like, at all. I kind of just want to make it like, hey, what if Ravenwing Black Knights, but, Inceptors?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, well, so we've got 395. I do want the Apothecary still.
Fair, fine.
That's 70 for a Primaris Apothecary minimum.
Right, functionally doesn't take up a slot.
Yeah. And we can look at upgrading him to a chief depending on how points and CP work.
I kind of like having a chapter champion here, and let me explain that. He just goes to a section of the board and is like not anyone's first target. He's behind a Thunderstrike or something.
Yeah.
And then if they come anywhere near that side of the board, he just goes, "You're dead." Like he just covers an area of the board, and that's just great. Like I like him. He's only 60 points. And you're also not really taking that many Warlord Traits or Relics?
Yeah, so far we're not. I was going to add quite a few of them.
Okay, fair.
I don't mind the Chapter Champion. So we've got 325 after we take the Apothecary.
Apparently, 10 devs with Grav, Combi Melta, Thunderhammer, and a Rhino is less than 300 points.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. So it's 115 for twice.
Right, so 230.
It's 230, and then it's 80
70,
for the Rhino.
80, so it's 310.
It's 310. Yeah. I don't think you can make it cheaper than that. It is not that expensive. I would put one multi-melt in each and make that a 330 package, which we're 5 points off of fitting, which we'll finagle somewhere.
You can definitely do that, for
Yeah,
sure.
you
Does this still
just-
have the 3 aggressors in it?
Yes.
So if you cut those, because I don't think 3 random aggressors are worth it by themselves,
Then you have 85 points. To do
then you
something
have
with.
85 points to, like, tack something
Frankly, I was just going to downgrade. Or with the 85 points, you probably get a Chief Apothecary in, and then a Champion or something.
Yeah, Chief Apothecary Champion.
I'm actually not
That's
mad about
5
that.
points off, yeah. But that's finagleable. Like, that might be Infiltrators become
Oh, don't
in
say
cursors. Well, where else would you shave points?
that. The apothecary gets a little bit shorter. Loses a wound.
Oh. Are they the same points cost now?
I think he's 5 less.
Okay.
I'll double check.
Yeah.
All right, so let's...
so that's a very weird place, and I'm not even sure, like,
it's
how
a lot
good
of
it is.
shooting.
It's a lot of shooting.
So it's very fast, but it's not a lot of combat anymore.
So what does that end up looking like? It's a chapter master chaplain with 5 infiltrators,
Yep.
an apothecary champion, 18 inceptors, 3 thunder strikes, and a grav rhino.
And a grav rhino. That feels like it's trying too hard to be a good shooting list.
It doesn't have enough stuff.
Shooting should set up your combat in White Scars. You need enough shooting to set up your combat. You can't not have combat. Otherwise, you're just like, wow, I am a faster Iron Hand list that does not hit as hard and isn't stuff.
So do you think you go more towards your build then?
I think you could still keep a decent amount of guns in. But I think I would do 2 Thunder Strikes, the 18 Inceptors.
Yeah, I think
and
you
then,
just have to start cutting some Thunder Strikes.
Yeah, just 1, I think. So let's take a look at where we're at here. So we had 395. This is tough. I like this list though.
Yeah.
I
mean, you
have a lot of
18
options.
Inceptors.
I do like 18 Inceptors. I just need to paint 6 more.
I mean, what you could do is run just 18 Inceptors as your only shooting. And then the rest of it is combat. Which I think is
I kind of want to
probably
keep
correct.
the Thunder Strikes in, because I don't want to just turn this into my White Scar list, if I'm being honest.
I mean, fair.
Because like that's already been posted. If you want my White Scars list, go look at the same thing.
Didn't you have like 16 Inceptors or something? 17?
The game I played against Nick, I had 11 because I was Blight. I had 16 in the list that I put in State of Faction.
I see.
Because I think that's the right number.
So
if we're just cutting the 2 Assault Intercessors and the Whirlwind, that's 295, and then we cut 1 Thunder Strike, we now have 430 points left to play with. That's easily getting you the big Terminator brick and an Apothecary if you want it.
Yeah.
Or it could be a lot of Aggressors and the Apothecary.
Yeah, either one is totally fine. Whichever one you have access to, I think is great. Like a lot of Aggressors.
It's a lot of Aggressors.
And then
Aggressors
that is actually kind of good shooting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because 18 Aggressors just advancing and just...
Yeah, you would basically you'd be taking your Aggressors from 3 to 12.
2 6-mans?
2 6-mans. You can combat squad as you need to. Bolt Aggressors in White Scars almost always, I think. The range is really nice, and the fact that you can advance and not take the penalty means that you're still hitting pretty well.
Yeah.
The Overwatch is worse. The range is better. I like the...
I think it's fine. Like, I think Bolt... If you have Flame model,
it's not a big
whatever,
deal.
it's not the biggest deal. But Bolters is just more shots going down range, and 18 versus 12 inches is a big deal.
Yeah, the range is the big thing.
Like, people look at Aggressors and go, I need to avoid combat, and then they start getting chewed up by, like, a million Bolter shots, and they start...
Yeah, mainly because if you're shooting something within 12 inches, you're affecting your charges.
That too.
Yeah, because White Scars are always declaring charges.
You move up, you shoot one thing, you charge a different thing.
Exactly, and so the 18 inches lets you have a better secondary target because you don't want to shoot the thing you're about to charge.
Absolutely.
All right. So I think in this case I would basically cut 1 Thunder Strike, the Whirlwind, and the Assault Intercessors, and I think I would just go 12 Aggressors and
how many Aggressors you get for that?
So you get 270 points of Aggressors, and then an Apothecary is about a hundo, and then you just slot a Chapter Champion in.
Done. Love that. So 12. So do you go from 3 to 12, or you go from 3 to 15?
3 to 12.
Okay.
Yep. So
because it's 270 for 9.
Yep.
Got it. Yeah, so you go from 3 to 12 Aggressors, and you get
a Chief Apothecary.
Chief Apothecary and a Chapter Champion.
Chapter Champion. And then we haven't spent any CP yet. Wise Order is staying, of course.
Right.
The Chapter Master on Bike shockingly doesn't actually need much because he is a babysitter. Rights of War is probably worth having, though.
I think you need that, yeah.
So that's 2 CP spent. I think that with this many Inceptors, I think I am actually willing to spend for
Selfless
Healer at this point.
Yeah, I think if you buy Chief Apothecary, you take Selfless. If you don't buy Chief Apothecary, you don't take
exactly.
Selfless.
Yep. So then it's 3 CP spent. I think that Chapter Champion's going to end up with 2 Warlord traits, or 2 CP spent.
So that would be 0 CP start. No, that'd be 1 CP
to start.
And I think that's fine.
Well, no, we're starting at 0 still because I want a relic on that Apothecary.
Okay.
And that is going to be your choice of either Plume the Planesrunner because it's awesome. That's the 6-inch aura of +1 advance and charge. Or it's +3 inches to his auras so that he covers more people with Feel No Pain. Or it's Picking in the command phase and it ignores cover. All of those are great. This is purely salt to taste. All right.
All right, love that. Cool.
There we go.
Well,
Miles Engrave
Miles Engrave.
for the con.
All right. Well, before we move on to the next list, shout out Bailey Crean. First, went to the War Room Bronze. Then
Excellent.
decided White Scars were so cool they wanted to go to the War Room Silver. So thank you. We appreciate having
Thank you, Bailey. You're a hero of Chigoris.
That's or something, you know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely that.
All right, Sam Hill.
What in the?
What in the Sam Hill?
Ah, Drukari.
Yeah,
All right.
we got Drukari.
Hit me with the
Drukari
jack.
did not change very much at all in the balance update, but the meta changed around them. It's kind of like GSC in a way.
Yeah.
Where they got better because the things they didn't like to see got worse. Because
Did Drukari get secondary changes or free war gear?
I don't believe they got free war gear.
Like GSC.
They got, well, GSC also, like, the bikes went up.
I know.
The bikes went up, and then free war gear, which is like
Yeah.
very equivalent. It's like forcing you to pay for the power weapons. But we're not talking about GSC right now. We're talking about Drukari. The meta changed around Drukari quite a bit, but their units didn't really. Witches went down a point, which is cute. Rax went up a point. That's about it. So, looking at this as an Arcs of Omen detachment, which has benefits and drawbacks for Drukari.
Indeed.
Nick and I broadly called it a buff yesterday for Drukari, and obviously there are some issues with it, but I think broadly it is a buff. So it lets you just take
Whatever you want.
right? Yeah. You just get to take whatever you want. Basically, you get fewer elites, fast attack slots, whatever, but that's kind of fine because let's be honest, you're not maxing out your heavy, you're not maxing out your elites. So
Yeah, pretty much never.
You're taking 3 units of incubi, which, spoiler alert, we're going to get to it. Apparently the morale-based secondary is a bit better. You get more than 9 troops if you want it. You get up to 6 fast attack. That's all functionally the same. You get 4 HQs. Like, the slots limit didn't really change much. What the biggest change is you can take Harlequins for free.
Yeah, that's pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, you have to pay 0 CP. Because what you want is you want a Shadow Seer for psychic secondaries. And if you do that, you used to start with 4 CP and you couldn't kit out your characters and you wouldn't be able to take the triple the triple patrol for free. It just threw a gigantic wrench in the middle of list building. And now I think Harlequins just kind of tack on to the end of every Eldar and Dark Eldar list, like, period. Like, Eldar taking a Harvester of Torment guy and basically just Harvester of Torment and then a Troop Master with Twilight Fang. Eldar just take that because they don't have characters that do that sort of thing. So Eldar just, boom, slot that in. Every single Eldar list takes Harvester and a Twilight Fang Troop Master, in my opinion. Drukari's slightly different because you can't buy their Warlord traits and relics, unfortunately.
Sad.
I mean, I can double check that, but I'm pretty sure you don't get Harlequin Warlord traits or relics. Yeah. So you're using it for something slightly different, which is just taking Shadow Seers. You're not getting Harvester of Torment guy with Favor of Chegarak. You're not getting Twilight Fang guy. You're not getting any of that. But you have good characters, so you don't need the characters. You don't need baller characters. What you need is psychers to do psychic stuff.
Yeah. Now, one of the other things to consider...
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Drukari. It's all right, I got my own speech ready. So the other thing to consider here with Drukari is that traditionally you would run multiple detachments to get a trait on multiple different subfactions, and that is gone because you have one detachment, and as of this moment, GW has not made any efforts to translate the raiding parties, the multiple patrols into Arcs of Omen.
And they may not. They may
not. But
if you're sitting and holding out for GW to update your book, remember Chaos Knights Forge World Options did not have the correct keywords to be able to take for a full year.
Yeah.
So just until the new book came out, like they never did.
So so in that case, it is worth noting that Drukari also have stupid rules, and that one unit or one subfaction in each detachment gets a trait no matter what. So you can mix Cabal and Witch Cult still, and one of them gets the trait. And you have to do a real space raid if you want multiple things to get a trait in Arcs of Omen. But I don't know if you need that. Mario is definitely in favor of the real space raid. I don't think a real space raid is necessary.
I don't want to take a homunculus and this list. I mean, this list probably does want Rax, but like...
Yeah, so like... The other Arcs of Omen changes to consider because I'm not as in touch with Drukhari as you are, so I just kind of want to collect the changes. And also for anyone watching who's maybe not as familiar with Drukhari, free strategic reserves is nice, but Drukhari was also already a mobile army. I kind of like it for just moving troops around the board, and then I really like that moving troops around the board that maybe don't have transports.
Yeah.
So you like, for example, like racks with liquefiers that ignore cover, just like tossing 4 of those in reserves and saying whatever, they're gonna go kill screens. Honestly, it sounds kind of nice.
Well, XV Broadside is kind of cottoned on to something that we're going to be discussing in a bit, which is some parts of Drukhari don't benefit from their traits.
Yeah, like the traits don't matter.
Like the Cabals. The Cabals don't care if they have their trait.
Nope.
Like they just don't.
They just don't.
They just don't care. So this list is actually totally fine not being a real space raid.
Yeah. No. Like your Cabalites could reroll a hit, but now they don't, and that's okay.
So, George asked, the Death Jester always takes Harvester of Torment, or could Lord of Crystal Bones be a better tech option? Lord of Crystal Bones was the best option in Nephilim.
Yes.
If you're going to LVO and you're taking Harlequins, I would suggest you take Lord of Crystal Bones so you can turn off Flamer Overwatch and so you can make CSM Terminators move 3 inches. Great. Current meta, you don't need that. And Harvester of Torment with Favor of Chegarak is absurd.
Yeah, so if you have the option to buy a Warlord trait for him, you take it.
Yes.
If not, for example, if you were taking it in a Drukhari list, sure, Lord of Crystal Bones probably.
But you probably don't want a DJ in that.
You probably don't want that.
If you're doing that, you probably want Rift Cool. But you probably don't want any of them.
A ton of options
Yeah.
there. But yeah, in this specific list, though, you don't really need a Cabalite trait because it's just a bunch of warriors and an Archon. The Archon doesn't really need a random reroll, and I don't think that the Cabalite warriors need it either. Who's line with Drukhari where the points are made up and the rules don't matter? Oh, yeah. It does sometimes. It used to feel that way. It doesn't anymore.
Also, XP Broadsides pointed out the Succubus is not a master Succubus. How come they get Blood Brides? That could just be a transcription error on their part. It could be a transcription error on my part. It could be it could have been missed in translation at any point in time. My guess is that because the points work out to be actually over points, my guess is that they just forgot they need that in order to get the Blood Brides.
Fair enough. Well, we can toss that in very easily for him because
Yes.
you want that Succubus to be special.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get Incubi slightly better in a Black Heart detachment, just 1 turn up on the thing, but they can do that turn 2 anyway, so I don't think that's a big deal.
It is very nice. Like, it is very nice.
is
But is it
certainly
buying a
convenient.
homunculus nice?
No.
That is a question.
It is not a homunculus nice.
So people also are like, Drazar can't be your warlord, and then they go, a whole bunch. And I'm here to be the prophet of the Drazar shouldn't be your warlord.
Anthony is gonna Kool-Aid man.
I've already talked to Anthony about this. We just agreed to disagree. He sees my point, I see his point. He likes to do what Sam Hill is doing here, where he takes Drazar kills God if he fights him, and he just has the Archon sniffing his farts across the entire battlefield. Just just base to base with each other.
Just fight last and all around.
Just fight last in heroics, and he just has Drazar and the Archon, as a tag team, kill like 1,000 points of his opponent's army.
Sure.
That is, first off, incredibly finessey. Like, if you mess that up, then that plan just completely falls apart.
Yeah.
But,
or if they charge you with 2 units.
Or if they, well, it depends on where you put them, right? If you put them in a position where they can do that, and then they profitably can kill them, then that's a mistake on your part.
Yeah.
But it's also, Anthony makes that work. Anthony can make that work. Awesome. But there's also a lot of value to having Drazar not have his warlord trait and have an Archon with Hatred Eternal Ginblade.
Yeah.
Because that way you get 2 characters that both functionally hit hard enough.
And then you buy your Succubus.
And then you buy your Succubus, and you have 3 characters that all mess your opponent up instead of 2, and they can be in 3 different places on the board.
Okay. So yeah, I'm fine to rearrange the warlord traits and relics of the various HQ choices. What are we thinking for points though?
Well, I want this 3rd unit of Incubi, period, end of sentence, and I will accept no.
Oh no, I want a larger unit of Incubi, to be clear. I want one that's not 5.
Yeah.
I like 2/5 Incubis. I personally like 5/5/8, I think.
I'm actually in favor now that there's something to spend your points on other than Dark Eldar stuff, and also the fact that Hellions got a lot better.
True, yeah.
I am much more okay with just taking 5/5/5.
I'm alright with 5/5/5, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. You don't need the big one as much without Armor of Contempt. 5/5/5 is
Without
fine.
Armor of Contempt and with Hellions in there. I think the Reavers, I want like 2 units of Hellions instead of these Reavers.
I like 1 unit of Reavers.
Well, I think 1 unit of Reavers, 2 units of Hellions.
I fully agree with that.
Yeah. Without Armor of Contempt, Hellions go back to ripping people apart.
Yep.
Yeah, and I really want that.
I feel like the way to get that is less generic witches.
Yeah, less witches.
Right. Is that where we're going to start? Because that also gives you less raiders, which
that's
nice.
Also what we're going to do. I mean, if you're on GW terrain, raiders are untakeable, in my opinion.
True. They're just so tall.
Anthony took one, made it work on GW terrain, or he played it on
one
GW.
Is totally fine.
One is fine. If you're on GW terrain, I would probably go 0 and just take blood brides on foot.
Fair.
Yeah, as long as mortars aren't everywhere. But yeah, so if mortars are everywhere, we're probably not playing on GW terrain anyway, so whatever. But if mortars are everywhere, you need a raider for your blood brides or they die. But if you, I want these witches gone. I don't love them, if we're being honest.
No, I don't think they're necessary at all.
No.
So I think we cut at least 2 of them to start.
Yeah.
We can certainly end up cutting more. But I think as a bare minimum, I think we go 220 off the list by cutting 2 witch units. And then 1 raider's gone as well, and that's 105.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 325 points.
Oh.
And how much are Hellions for?
85 for 5.
85 for 5, so 170 for 10. Something in between that for like an 8.
Yeah, like 7. Because test of skill, first off, I want to go to precise killers in this list instead of stim innovators.
Okay, and precise killers is a 5 to wound is the extra AP?
Yep, 5 to wound triggers blade artists.
Okay.
I've just been a big fan of that, and with test of skill, you're wounding tanks a lot of the time on 4s and 5s, and then that means that, if you're wounding them on 4s, then 2/3 of your attacks are going to be AP2, and if you're wounding them on 5s, then all of your attacks are going to be AP2, and that's the point where it's like, oh, I just killed a knight, even though I'm strength 4 and their toughness 8.
Yeah. Well, getting the blood brides to AP4, I really like.
It's a big deal, yeah. Wounding on 5s. Yeah. You don't have reroll wounds, which is just not fun. Like, RIP to a real one. The whatever the cult is, I forget. Cult of Strife. Yeah. So RIP to a real one, Cult of Strife. But hey, Triptych Whip, Stim Addict. I think I would just make that Triptych Whip like Quicksilver Fighter.
Sure.
Yeah.
What but before we get to that, let's get to the points changes before we fix them CPs. So we've cut that, and now we're cutting 2 units of Reavers as well.
Yes.
So we're looking at 445 points to spend. And we have 2 fast attack slots open.
Yep. I think for now we just go 85, 85, 90 for the incubi and see where that leaves us.
Okay. So minus 85, 1, 2, minus 90. We've got 185 points left. I think we could go a little bit bigger on this Hellions.
How many did we have before?
How many what?
How many did we have before?
We had 445 points by cutting 2 witches, 1 boat, 2 Reaver squads.
So 445 minus 170 minus 90.
Yeah.
Okay,
somehow
that math
math
in my head just did not make sense at all. Yeah, we have
I don't know
185 left.
Yep.
Did you count the 2 raiders?
I cut 1 raider because there's currently 4 10-strong units and 3 raiders.
I see.
So I left it as 2 raiders, 2 tenors to go in them.
Got it.
With 185, I'm in favor of taking those.
We need the succubus to be a master succubus.
Sure. How many points is that?
15, I believe.
All right, so I'm going to take 20 off because we were also at 2005.
Yes.
So we're at 165. I kind of want... So, like, the thing that I'm looking at and wanting is I want 1 more Venom, and then I want these Hellions to be a little bigger.
I kind of want to put my stonks elsewhere than the Hellions. So we end up with 3 combat characters. I think I want Hatred Eternal Archon with Genblade,
sure.
Succubus with Triptych Whip, Stim Addict, and Show Stealer. Oh, the Archon also 15 points for Fight Twice.
Oh, yeah, totally. Clean 150 left?
Yep. And then Drazar, and then we have 10 witches. I honestly want to just get rid of the last witch squad in the Raider, and that just gets us to 15. And I just want to put that into troops and venoms.
Are you thinking Harlequin troops or
no? Just troop troops.
Just troop troops. Okay.
Harlequin troops. I mean, we could take a second Shadow Seer. I don't hate that.
Yeah, Hundo's not inexpensive, but it's not bad.
Yeah, guaranteeing that you get your
how often do you think that you need Harlequin psychic secondaries?
Quite often. Dark Eldar secondaries are pretty not great.
Well, I figure that almost every time they're gonna take either behind enemy lines or Herd the Prey. One of those 2 is happening. It's the same category. I feel
behind
like
enemy lines is real good right now.
Real good with all these troops.
If you take a lot of troops with venoms and you get CP,
and then then we're talking about just having a what is it called?
It's the kill secondary. It's like
is the kill secondary good? And
It's-
then
it's
you're gonna
workable,
take an
yeah.
action secondary.
it's like 1 point for everything that you kill in combat, and 3
Yeah.
points for It's good. It's good.
With all these little idiot squads, I feel like you're very good at action secondaries. You can R&D or banners relatively well.
Then that might mean you just cut Harlequins entirely.
It could
Yeah, that could mean that.
could mean that.
Because behind enemy lines is quite good. I mean, let me look and check
Yeah.
the secondaries because that's
And
important.
Herd the Prey is still a pretty good secondary, I think, because I think it scores turn 1.
It's workable. It doesn't count your deployment zones 1
No.
point for each. It's like it's a solid 10 if your opponent and you just kind of have a detente.
Yeah, but then like that's pretty good.
Not great. I
It's
don't
not
love
great,
it.
but I feel like
Take
that's
them
as good as any
alive
secondaries.
is in Purge. 3 victory points for every enemy character or monster destroyed by melee attack.
Mm-hmm.
Score 1 victory point for every other enemy unit destroyed by melee attack, up to 5 per battle round. That's takeable. Like that is, you just probably take that. Fear or Terror is 1 victory point every time. Apparently got a little better. 1 victory point every time an enemy unit fails a morale, falls back, fails an action. And every time an enemy is destroyed by melee attack before moving the last model, roll 2d6. If it equals or exceeds the leadership, you get a victory point. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That
Yeah,
sounds
if you've
bad.
got Grizzly trophies all over, that's actually not that hard. So let me see.
You get 1 victory point every time they fall back, fail an action, or fail a morale test. Fail an action is going to happen almost never.
Yeah, it's basically falls back, fails a morale check.
Or when you
And
kill
then-
them, you
and then
roll
when they're destroyed.
2d6. Yeah, it's just not good. How many morale checks are people realistically failing without you killing their unit?
Let me see.
And it's not every time a model runs away.
This is so weird. So it says, a model can, if resurrected for any reasons, contribute victory points to the secondary multiple times. But there's nothing about models in this secondary.
No, this is if, like, maybe you kill a Necron character. If you kill a Necron character, he stands back up, doesn't count as being killed.
I guess it means that it can contribute multiple times. So yeah, if you kill a character and it stood back up, and then failed the morale check both times, you could get 2 points.
Yeah, fair enough. No, that's a bad secondary. Don't love it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So
take them alive, behind enemy lines, and retrieve battlefield data or banners?
either battlefield data or banners feels perfectly fine. You've got troops and OBSEC floating around a lot.
Honestly, we could just get the points out of Harlequins.
Mm-hmm.
Because potentially, if you build your list right, you may not even need Harlequins.
Yeah.
I like having a psychic secondary option because that's just consistent. You just go like, boom, got a psychic secondary. There's a decent amount of points in it though. It's 265 if you want to
Yeah, it's
really
265 minimum.
if you really want to commit to it.
You get a lot of Drakari for that.
Yeah, you get a lot of Drakari for that. You get a lot of transports though, which is the real problem. And we could come back around and make 10-man witch squads. They do hit.
Yeah,
But they're not.
They also like the test of skill things.
They also like test of skill, and they like precise killers if we switch to that.
We haven't filled out any slots yet because we could, as long as we don't take more than 9 troops, we could still take 6 fast attacks.
Yeah, which we could do. We could take a second squad of Reavers for that behind enemy lines action.
Yep.
Which I like.
And frankly, a third Hellion squad at 85.
Yeah, go for it.
So are we saying no Harlequins?
I think no Harlequins is real.
All right, all right, I think we know the direction we're going then. So then let's take this list. So we're, at the moment, we're just going to cut...
This does have bad secondaries into like Knights and Iron Hands. Because it's enemy
them alive.
characters or monsters give you 3. Any
Yeah.
other unit gives you 1.
Yeah. But then you take Bring It Down.
It's in Purge. Yeah, it's the same, it's the same thing. Yeah, never
If they're
mind.
vehicle heavy, you take Bring It Down.
If
Call
it's
it
vehicle heavy, you take Brain Down. Got it.
So plus 165. So, and then let's cut at least 1 Witch and Raider. So we're currently at 3 Witches, 2 Raiders.
So let's start from the top.
Yeah, that's what I just did.
Okay, got it.
So starting from the top, we're taking the list as printed. We are cutting the Harlequin detachment.
Right.
We're cutting 1 Reaver squad. We're cutting 1 full Witch squad and 1 Raider.
Okay.
And that puts us at 440.
That's
We're
so much stuff.
immediately adding 1 5 Incubi.
You know what I want here real bad?
Tell me.
John.
Mandrakes.
Flamer Racks.
I do want Flame Racks, but the problem is that they're not going to get their traits unless you go full.
No, unless I spend like, I don't know.
How much is a homunculus?
That's a great question. I will
Just find out how much a homunculus is. Like, let's, before we brush off this tax that we don't want to pay, like, how much is the tax?
I don't want to pay the tax, for sure. But it might be worth it, because Flamer Racks are incredible in this meta.
Yeah.
You get Ignores cover, and like you get 6s to hit Explode, which now they're AP1 in combat. They're pretty good in combat now.
Or you could do the freer wins.
I found the 6s Explode are nice, because then the vehicles have 6s Explode as well, and like with With chain snares, they actually do like a decent amount of damage.
That's true, because at that point you do make all of your transports commons.
Homunculus, I think, went down to 80.
80 is not the worst.
No, 80 is fine, because he gives all of your racks, ignores cover, and 6s explode.
So...
And you also get Incubi the Advanced and Charge Turn 1, which is not nothing.
Yeah. So right now we've got 350 points left. And then we've already bought the third Incubi squad. So we could either, and we have 7 troop choice at the moment, because we have 3 10-strong witches. I think we're cutting another 10-strong witch, if I'm being honest.
For sure. In the Raider, it goes. I think we're cutting another 10-strong. Honestly, I want to cut down to just Blood Brides and a Raider. I don't like witches.
Okay.
I mean, I get it. There's a lot of trap in combat, but I think you can avoid lines of sight. And if you're in transports, then mortars won't kill you.
Yeah. So we're now at we are now at a pretty hefty amount of points.
Pretty healthy. It's almost to the point where you start counting up instead of counting down.
Yeah, no, we're.
I also only want one warrior squad.
Yeah, well, we're about to be counting up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, it's gonna leave the list generally intact as like a.
Is what it does.
As what it does.
Yeah. So if let's add the Hellions in, because I think that we're going fast attack as our Arcs of Omen slot.
100%. I think we're
and
taking
now we're adding
3 units of Hellions.
85 3 times.
3 units of Incubi.
Yep.
We cut 1 squad of Reavers, I think.
Yep. So we're at 2 Reaver squads, 3 Hellion squads.
Got it. A 3rd unit of Incubi.
We already have that in.
Well, how about 120 for 3 warriors going to sleep?
That would put us at 540 points to spend.
That is all. And does that count the homunculus?
I have not bought a homunculus yet. That's 80 points?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have 460 points to spend. We currently have all 3 Venoms still in and 1 Raider in and just the Blood Brides.
We currently have 2 troops, right?
Right now
10
it's
Blood Brides
10 Blood Brides
warriors.
and 5 Warriors. So we need this 460 points is going to be a lot of troops.
It's going to be a lot of Flamer
How many
racks.
points is a Flamer Rack squad?
65.
They went up a little bit, right?
They went up 5 points.
Okay. Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. So
well, they went up 1 point apiece.
Yeah,
so,
of course. So let's just put 4 of those in real quick. That's 260.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. We still have 200 points left, so we're up to 6 troops, which is a respectable number. I am personally in favor of at least 1 more Venom, I think.
Yeah, 3 Venoms with Grizzly trophies.
Doesn't feel like enough.
No, I want mass Venoms. Like, I would like 6 units of Flamer Racks total with, like, maybe 5 units of Flamer Racks and then 1 unit of, like, well, you have 1 unit of Warriors. So that's your backfield, like, nonsense, idiot holders. I mean, let's look at transports, right?
So we only have 4 transports at the moment.
It might take a Raider as just to be a little more
Points efficient.
Points efficient.
Okay. So 105.
Yep. And then probably another Venom. And that's probably about where we're at. Did you already add a 4th Venom in?
No, I had not.
So 4th Venom
gives us 15 points.
Yeah.
Which is enough to buy Grizzly trophies on the 2 Raiders, and then it'd be 1995, and you can do something.
Yeah,
with that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could go. XV Broadside is proposing we go elites for Incubi, 1 unit Grots, and 2 Mandrakes. I think for this secondary game plan, you need to be able to score behind enemy lines, which means you need Reavers, and Hellions went real good.
Hellions are back to being really good. I agree.
So I think we just at minimum want four units, like 2 Reavers, 2 Hellions.
Okay.
And at that point, going up to 3 Hellions, 2 Reavers feels pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So then
that's roughly where I would put it, honestly.
So then final list here is Drazar, not the Warlord.
Right.
Succubus with
Triptych Whip Quicksilver Fighter is my guess.
Okay.
And then you probably want Adrenalite on her because you need every ounce of damage possible now that you don't have comp edge.
Yep, that's fair. And then you've got an Archon who is Fight Twice, Jin Blade, and is a Master. Now
the Master is Fight Twice, so it's Hatred Eternal for full rerolls.
Hatred Eternal, yeah.
Jin Blade, and then he is a Splintered Genius.
That's it, yeah.
Yes.
So the troops then, we have 1 10-strong Blood Bride, same loadout that we've got here.
And we have a homunculus in there as well.
Oh, and homunculus, of course, because we have 4 HP slots. Thank you. So troops, we've got a 10-strong Blood Bride. We have a 5 Cabalite Warrior with literally nothing fancy on it. 4 units of racks, and these racks are custom so that they ignore cover and exploding 6s in combat. And those are troops. Then fast attacks is 2 Reavers, 3 5-strong Hellions.
Yep.
3x5 Incubi in the elites. Transports is 2 Raiders with the Dark Lance and Grizzly trophies, 4 Venoms with Grizzly trophies, and no Harlequins. And that's 1995.
It's pretty good.
All right.
It's pretty good. I think there's probably some like itty bitty finagling about transports and troops and units and whatnot.
there's always test this in real, like put on the table and see like, oh, am I 1 transport short? Is this transport empty? Figure out what you need.
Yeah. That's a put it on the table and adjust the points by like 100. But that sort of shell where you're looking to take behind enemy lines, which is and Lunarius, by the way, the reason why I think the Corsairs leave the list is because you're gaining a CP from behind enemy lines.
You can't do both at the same time.
You can't do both at the same turn. So you're not going to gain a CP every time because sometimes you're going to do it with Reavers, and that's totally okay. But you're also not getting a CP every time with the Voids, with the Void Reavers, the Void Scarred.
The Void Scarred are probably giving you a net 1 CP a game if you're taking behind enemy lines.
Oh, no, maybe not even, honestly, because casting on a 6 is just like, oh, look, it didn't go off, or oh, look, my opponent had deny.
I figure turn 1 or 2, you're going to...
Yeah. I mean, it's a little better, but not that much better. And you already have a warrior squad in there. Whatever.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Done. You have some dark lances that shoot. You know, that's cute. You have Blackheart on those. You have Blackheart on the Incubi, which really helps your turn 1. Like,
Venom's
don't mess with me.
Venom's
range.
probably ignore cover.
The Venoms, Venoms ignore cover and have 6s explode, and probably want chain snares.
Sure,
because there were 20 points left, I think.
We could easily say no Grizzly trophies on the Raiders, and then every Venom is chain snares.
Yeah, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah. Something like that. Probably want Grizzly trophies on the Raider because they have that massive footprint.
Sure, there's a lot of flex points to fiddle with here.
The last 50 to 100 points of this is going to be mess withable. All of it's mess withable, honestly. But I think that kind of a shell is going to do pretty well. Sam Hill says, what should I do if I only have 2 squads of Hellions? Flamer-Racks. I think Flamer-Racks are really good right now.
Yeah, I fully agree.
I kind of want to build a list that just has like 9 units of them.
We've done that before.
We've done that, and it was really good.
Yeah, and it had Tantalus.
Yeah, it had, I mean, that's a whole nother list. I think Tantalus are really good. They're just, you open yourself up to the I went second into guns.
I think you would
in a way that
but the Tantalus goes in reserve for free.
Sure, but your entire army's in the Tantalus.
Yep.
And you're pricing yourself into starting off the board no matter what,
man,
which is almost certainly losing.
You're just spending 1 CP onto emergency disembarking into somewhere really interesting.
Yeah. I think they're at 220. I think they're insane, but they're also 18 wounds. If they're 17 wounds, oh, please. But no. Yeah, please nerf it to 17 wounds. They're too broken. Nerf them to 17 wounds. Yeah, but okay. Yeah. Right. Anyway, I think that kind of shell is really good, and I think if you want to go heavy into Flamer-Racks, like literally 9 units, forget that we did a real space raid at all, and just go pure ignores cover, 6s explode, take a bunch of Raiders and Venoms, and then you take the 3 units of Incubi, Hellions, and the same character loadout, but minus the Homunculus. Mm-hmm. I think that is actually probably where I would be at with Dark Eldar.
Yeah.
But
that does sound like a really good way to start it off.
Yeah. All right. So, it is time. You know what it's time for? It's
Super
time
chats.
to talk about a $5 super chat from Peaches the Destroyer, who says, so I only build pure wolves, never successors. Kind of unsure which direction to take them, how to build for Cherokee. Any ideas? Still not successor.
Peaches the Destroyer, I would recommend that you take your pure Space Wolves and make them Master Artists. I'm just kidding. Really, though, I do think Space Wolves are actually in a phenomenal spot. Like, unironically, I think Space Wolves are probably the best chapter at doing... They're the best melee chapter at adding guns.
Yeah, because Long Fang's pretty good. I stand corrected. Mm-hmm. I had been told that you could take Cyclone missile launchers all over the place. It turns out only the Long Fang pack leader can take them.
Oh, yeah. That's the only place you were going to take it. But that's fine. You can still take a Wolfguard pack leader on a lot of different places, though.
Yes.
So what I am personally a giant fan of in pure Space Wolves is Skyclaws.
Please expand on that, John.
So Skyclaws are an assault marine. And that sounds like it's boring because you're thinking of a 5-man group of jump pack idiots with like 2 flamers as their free war gear and like, oh yeah, thanks, buddy. But here's what you do. Space Wolves are stupid and don't follow the rules. So those 2 free flamers become 2 free meltaguns. And then your sergeant, the pack leader, wants a combi melta. But then you add a Wolfguard pack leader to it, and he also wants a combi melta.
What does this unit end up with?
It ends up as like a 6-man like squad of jump pack guys with like 2 Thunderhammers, 4 Meltas. For like 115 points.
That's super cute.
Super cute. I really like that as Master Artisans for the record. But no, you just take Skyclaws, toss a pack leader on, and take and honestly, no. Honestly, I'm not super familiar with Space Wolf, so please forgive me if I'm off by 1 Meltagun in any direction. But I'm pretty sure that it's just a unit of Skyclaws ends up being 6 dudes, 4 Meltagun, 4 Melta shots.
And like 2 Thunderhammers.
Everyone else is a Chainsword. And in pure Space Wolves, this part I'm confident in, Skyclaws get +1 attack on the charge.
I think that unit to their normal
stuff.
That unit's very good.
And like at that point, you're like, oh, it's the same number of attacks as a Vanguard Veteran with Chainswords instead of the free Power Swords, but I'll compensate that by taking 4 Meltaguns. And it's like, okay, and you don't pay for your Thunderhammer. I'm like, that is a ludicrously good unit. Like I would take 3 of those.
Yeah, you take 3 of those. You take. You do like take 2 or 3 Long Fangs. I think
2 Long Fang squads is probably the right number. Take an Apothecary, and you're not Space Wolves armies, so I'm sorry. I just like...
You like darking on the fact they don't get Apothecaries?
I do like that fact.
Yeah. It always sucks every time. I'm like, well, this list really wants an Apothecary, so you want to... Oh, right, Space Wolves.
They're not Space Wolves.
They have something... They have something
else.
Just out for Apothecaries.
So terrible. Yeah, they made their Apothecaries into Chaplains, and the Chaplain forgot how to do his job. No joke. So... not in no way am I exaggerating.
No, I know you're not exaggerating. That's the funny part.
Yeah. I think around that core, you can go with traditional Space Wolf stuff where you can choose to go Dreadnought core and give them all light cover with a spell. I don't think that's necessary. I think you can just take some Wolf Guard like with jump packs and just have more jump pack squads running around being jerks. And then honestly, Terminators are really good. Just take like a 10-man Terminator squad and have it be like 5 guys or 10. Everyone has a combi plasma.
What?
It's free.
Sure.
Why not?
I get you.
Fine, combi melts. I don't care.
Or Thunderhammer Storm Shield. Who cares? It's all free.
No, it's 5 guys are like Thunderhammer combi weapon.
What?
5 guys are combi weapon Storm Shield.
I'm sorry. What?
Space Wolves
come again?
Don't follow rules, and it's all free, and then you toss 2 Cyclone Missile Launchers on. It's like... yeah, no, Space Wolves are just sprouting warrior out of every possible arm. And it's just like, sure, why would I not have 10 Combi Meltas, 5 Storm Shields, 5 Thunderhammers in this unit? Because, like, well, honestly, your 10-man squad with 10 Thunderhammers doesn't need to hit that hard. When you're Space Wolves, 10-man with 5 Thunderhammers still kills everything you need to.
Yeah, I'd probably go like 6.
Sure,
that's probably fine.
There's a ratio. It's all free. You fiddle it as you want. The points don't change. 10
combi plasmas, 4 storm shields,
6 Thunderhammers, 2 Cyclone Missile Launchers.
And people are like, wait, how does that work? And you're like,
everybody's packing. Yeah, don't even think about it.
That's like 30 arms.
It's 30 arms. And that's okay. So, anyways, that was our Space Wolf tangent.
Yeah.
That is a direction. Peaches, thank you. Thank you for waiting while we finished the list.
I just want to address one thing I saw in here. I missed it live, or I would have commented. XV Broadside was supporting taking the Warlord trait off of Drazar and giving it to the Archon by comparing that to taking Vol's Warlord trait away from her. Absolutely not.
No,
that
one is non-negotiable.
Do not cut Vol's Warlord. What's wrong with people?
Everyone does this.
Everyone's doing it.
I tried it once and I was like, this is garbage. Put it back.
Yeah, Vol doesn't hit at that point. She's 285 points and she murders people unless you decide you don't want to spend 1 CP on her. And she doesn't murder.
I like
people.
the murder, man.
I like that.
All right, let's hit.
All right, we have WTF Chicken. Welcome to the War Room. Glad to see you in.
A new chicken place just opened by my apartment. I want to try it soon. It's
Where
called
is it?
Slim Chicken.
Ooh, we should try.
It's by the Barnes & Noble.
We should try that.
Yeah, I do want to try it at some point. It was very busy.
That's right near my gym.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
All right.
Just saying.
The Slim Chickens.
All right, we got a $10 super chat from our boy Tom Pawnee.
What's up, dudes? Hopefully Tom Pawnee enjoyed that little bit of Drukhari degeneracy. I know that he is known to put witches in boats.
Yeah, he likes witches.
Elves and boats.
Listen, I had so much fun with double liquefier racks that ignore cover, and in this meta, they will rip people to shreds.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
I'm reading people to see if anyone corrects me on the number of free Meltaguns that a Skyclaw unit gets. I think it's 4. If it ends up being 3, you take 3 Meltaguns for free and call it a day. But I'm pretty sure it's 4. So I think it's Sergeant, 2 idiots, and then like a dude just gets added onto the squad. It's like, hi buddy, bring your Thunderhammer to work day.
Sure.
What? Why is not? Why?
No,
everyone in the army carries a Thunderhammer and a combat Meltagun.
I don't.
Everyone in the army.
Nope, I don't understand. It's fine. It's fine. You're good. Fine. I get it. Anyway, good to see you, Tim. Mm-hmm. Love seeing you. All right. So, while you review that to see if you messed up your math, we're going to go to our last list, which is Death Skulls from Push Only.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm going to go read Spacels for an hour. Well.
Yeah. I know you're stuck in here with me. No. All right, so let's talk about Death Skulls. Their trait is that they 5-up feel no pain against mortal wounds, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's super annoying.
Everybody counts as every infantry model is obsec, and they re-roll a wound roll, or maybe it's a hit or a wound roll. I think it's hit or wound every time they activate. That's 3 traits. Death Skulls trait is like actually nuts.
Yeah, that is one of the strongest traits I've ever seen.
Spoiler alert, this list isn't actually using that trait very well. And now this is...
this is an LVO list.
This is an LVO list. This is an old meta. This is an LVO list. I will be talking about how to update it to the new meta, and also how I think you should change it for LVO.
Oh, wow, Jack really doesn't want me to eat lunch today. Okay.
No, it's also going to be kind of the same conversation, because the list is going to look very similar before and after. like it's going to look fairly similar before and after. Anyway, so let's talk about currently what the list looks like. It's a Beast Boss on Squigosaur with Arda's Nails and Beast Hide Mantle. So that's -1 to wound, a 5-up feel no pain, and extra attack. We have a Weird Boy with Warpath and to jump. We have 2 units of 10 Beast Snagger Boys. Those are going in kill rigs. We have a unit of 10 boys. I assume this has truck boys. Doesn't say on the list, but I assume it would.
If not, put it there now.
Then we have 30 Gretchen. We have 5 commandos. The 10 mans have a Power Claw, Breacher Ram, and Bomb Squig.
Super solid.
And the 5 commandos have Power Claw. Then we have 3 units of 5 Tank Bustas with a Tank Hammer and 2 Bomb Squigs. Tank Hammer is pretty good in Death Skulls because you reroll that hit.
Solid, yeah.
You just make 1 attack, D6 mortal wounds. Fast attack is 10 Storm Boys with Power Claw and 2 units of 5. Then we go to Battle Wagon and 2 kill rigs and a truck. So the kill rigs both have Frazzle, and then 1 has Squiggly Curse, 1 has Roar of Mark. Okay, so let's talk about the list. What would I change for LVO in terms of the composition of the list, and then how would I change it with the new detachment and meta? First off, I think having a Beast Boss on Squigosaur is super awesome. Love that model. I don't think Death Skulls need it as much. I understand that there's been a list going around where you basically take a Goff's list and you make it Death Skulls, and then you have like a little bit extra objective control.
Sounds pretty cool, man.
It sounds cool. I don't think it's as good as like leaning into what Death Skulls do. For example, what do Beast Snagger Boys get out of Death Skulls? Not much. What do boys get out of Death Skulls? Not much. Gretchen don't get much out of anything, so screw them. Commandos get quite a lot. Storm Boys get quite a lot. Tank Busters do, but kill rigs don't. Battle Wags don't, and then the truck is whatever. Beast Boss on Squigosaur gets very little as well. So I want to lean in to the things that make Death Skulls good, which is scoring, and infantry, and mortal wound protection. So that means in this list I would want to go very light on troops. Spoiler alert, what I think you should do, if you've been playing this list, then you probably want to take it as is to LVO or something close. If you have a lot of practice with it.
Yeah.
What I would probably suggest is you get rid of the big boys, the Battle Wagon, the kill rigs, and you get rid of the Beast Snagger Boys. That gives you a ton of points. A ton of points. You still have the Gretchen, you still have the boys go take an objective, and I mean they do get a benefit, Blonkers. Like they do get a reroll, but they don't get nearly as big a reroll out of big a buff out of like Goffs or something. Goffs really make kill rigs just go ham on people. Whereas they don't get the OBSEC. And I want to lean into, hey, my whole army is OBSEC, good luck scoring points. That is just going to ruin people, I think. So I put Death Skulls on stream, and I was very impressed with what they could do, but I knew what I needed to change to make it work better. 1, I don't like Tank Busters very much.
That hurts me.
I know. I played with them.
What will bust the tanks?
anything. Who cares? Like,
Sad.
like tank busters don't bust tanks. It's just super annoying because they're heavy. They take a heavy penalty when they shoot, which means they go to hitting on 6s, and then if you're a vehicle, they go back to hitting on 5s, and that's not great. That's just not great. I don't like the tank busters very much. I was not impressed. What I did want is Mega Knobs, like 15 Mega Knobs, because what happens? So let me go over the gameplay on the list. Right, you have 30 Commandos and 30 Storm Boys.
Solid. Yep.
Right, 30 Commandos, 30 Storm Boys. Entire game plan is there's 60 models. All of them have OBSEC. Commandos in cover are really frustrating to deal with. And Storm Boys can hide behind terrain, jump forward, kill something.
And still be OBSEC. Funniest thing.
On an objective. Great. They just get buffed to the 9s from Death Skulls. Love those. Then, as you're busy, and you also have a Truck Boy unit to go and just take an objective in the back point, what you do is... So you still have stuff to take a back objective with the Truck Boys in the truck, and you have 60 troops... 60 elites and fast attack that are really good, and just spend the first 3 or so turns just making sure your opponent gets like as few objectives as possible. But at that point, they're probably all dead.
You'd be like that.
You are going
sometimes die.
At that point, you are going to be ahead on the scoreboard, and your opponent is going for the tabling. That is going to happen like a lot of the time. If you just focus on points early with the Commandos, the Storm Boys, and the Truck Boys, your opponent is going to have a very difficult time scoring points early. But you are going to lose a lot of your list in the first 3 to 4 turns, right? But you're going to have like a 20-point, 25-point points lead on them. Because your secondaries are so good.
They are.
And their secondaries are not as good as yours, probably. And their primary is going to get stepped all over by Commandos and Storm Boys. Okay?
Does happen sometimes, yeah.
That's where we're at. You also call the Wog turn, and you go and take objectives away. You have a turn of being durable with that 5-up invuln, and then after that, your army's going to start to fold. Okay? That's just probably going to happen every time.
It does sound right.
If you play for points and not to kill your opponent as much, then Desco, that's what's going to happen. Well, what happens when you are ahead 25 points and you have 15 objectives secured Mega Knobs?
You're not going to like the answer.
You have 15 objectives secured Mega Knobs on the home objectives, literally just hiding on home objectives, just getting your primary, and you have, let's say, some characters on foot that are objective secured, just trying to hold that points gap.
Black Knights happen.
I don't think that's what happens.
Damage 3 Black Knights, AP 4. Ooh, Black Knights happening.
I don't think that's what's happening. People aren't going to be packing quite as much high AP, especially on things like that. So, I mean, Black Knights are fine, but one unit's going to be doing that, whatever. You can't really stop that. Also, you're much better at killing them as Storm Boys and Commandos. Like, you're much better at killing Black Knights. But if you have a points lead, you just need... And also, they really love the 5 against mortals. They love that.
Yeah, they do love that. Mega Knobs love that.
So,
I hate that.
For LVO, I would... So that's what I want to do, is I want to take the tank bus and I want to place them with 15 Mega Knobs. You need to have 180 points in order to do that. Simple. We kill the kill rigs in the battle wagon.
Sad.
Sad noises, but that's how you do. You can take Ludas. I actually don't hate Ludas because they do get the good bits well, too, and they become OBSEC. So they're like cheap little OBSEC units you can throw around, which I really like. That is the direction I would take the list currently. Now, for characters, if you're playing at LVO, you have the ability to take a truck boss.
Okay.
And a truck boy unit.
Oh, yeah, because
I want to take a patrol.
That's fair.
Battalion patrol. You have a unit boys, 3 units of Gretchen. You can make that work. So, in that universe, I want to have a truck boss. So you mean with the Claw, Killer Claw, and Brutal but Cunning. So he goes out and he can hit a hard target and just kill it.
Yes.
Right? You still need that capability, which you have the Mega Knobs, which is dope. And if your opponent pushes up, you can just hit them with 1,000,000 Mega Knobs. But you still need something that says, that looks an awful lot like a Thousand Suns Terminator unit.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. So that is really nice. I like that. And also I want to give Weird Boy Fists of Gork, so you can hand him +2, maybe even +3 strength and attacks, and he goes in and he just crumps.
I know you do like crumping people.
I like crumping people. After that, what I really like in Death Skulls, is a war boss in mega armor, toughness 6, with art as nails, and either crushed in armor or cyborg body.
And this is just for LVO.
Just for LVO, because you can't actually get that after LVO.
Yep.
After LVO, when you're in a single detachment, you can't take 2 war bosses.
Well,
you
you
can
get 1 CP.
Sorry, no, you can take that because it's 1 CP.
Yep.
Yeah, my bad. You make the guy in crushed in armor or cyborg body, either one, up to you, and art as nails. You make that guy your warlord. And all he does is he camps an objective on your side of the board. Or you camp an objective in mid-board, but it's either in the center of the board if you feel safe doing that,
Or close to you.
Or the objective closest to you.
It's like a parasite of Mortrex.
Yep, he just sits there and he gets you biggest and the best for 10. And if your opponent at any point, like put something in the center of the board or put something over on the side of the board to try and take objectives away, you go in, you kill them because he still hits quite hard.
Yeah.
It's kind of why I like Crushing Armor anyway. He goes in, he kills whatever little unit is there, and you get a 5 on biggest and the best. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got a 13.
Yeah.
On that secondary.
Yeah, for LVO, definitely.
I think for LVO, that's great. Biggest and the best went away.
It did, yeah.
That guy's still good, and I still want to include him, and it costs 1 less CP. But you don't get truck boss, so that'd probably just go bike boss at that point.
Fair.
A bike boss with the Killer Claw and Brutal Buchanan, just to have that you die now sort of deal. So that is probably where I'd take the list. Would be 30 Commandos, 30 Storm Boys, 15 Mega Knobs, something like that, 10 Boys with Truck Boys, 30 Gretchen.
It's a lot of OBSEC.
It is a lot of OBSEC. War Boss on foot with or on bike after after Arcs of Omen comes out, and then a War Boss in Mega Armor with all the defense. A Weird Boy with Fist Sigork and Warpath, and then Luda's truck. You probably can take a couple trucks. I think there's some points left in this list, honestly, and you can take whatever the heck you feel like at that point.
I like it.
Yeah, that's probably what I would try for, because that leans just clean into I'm going to outscore you right off the board. Yeah. And Choppas get a lot better in Arcs of Omen, so after the balanced data slate, so that means that you can actually kill stuff now too.
All right.
So we've got some
chats.
We got some chats, and we got a lot of chats from Tim Penny.
Who we love.
Who we love. I shall start to read them in a second. But we have a $9.99 super chat from Ricky Chow.
Thank you, Ricky.
For your lunch date at Slim Chicken. Love you, boys. Here's a question. 2 or 3 Dogmatas?
First up, Ricky, we love you too.
We love you too.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think 1 Dogmata, because I still kind of like having the not the Imagifier, the Dialogist.
What does the Dialogist do? She modifies Miracle Dice?
Or if +1 leadership is a preacher the same as a Dogmata, but instead of giving out the OBSEC, she gives modify Miracle Dice by 1 before you use it.
That's pretty cute.
And she's cheaper.
She's cheaper.
It's 15 points cheaper. She's also she doesn't take up a slot as well, which isn't really a problem now with the elite characters, but it's still nice to say out loud. But I like having the diversity of buffs in the second what you know what I mean? Second priest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peaches the Destroyer, $5 super chat. You think that Thundercav are worth a consideration now? 35 points per model, free shields and hammer, only 10 points now, considering them in Skyclaws.
Yes.
Yes, Thunderwolf Cav are definitely worth it.
Yeah, free shields.
I have looked into them. I actually know what they do.
I would toss a Power Fist on. I think.
I like the free Lightning Claw.
Free Lightning Claw is also great. Isn't Power Fist free?
I think a Power Fist is 5.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
It's no big
I didn't look at Power Fist. I don't particularly like Power Fist myself.
105 points, free weapon of choice for close combat. I wouldn't pay for the Thunderhammer.
No, absolutely
Storm
not.
Shields, and honestly just have like 2 of those just being like, I'm cheap and an idiot. And I'm like not inconsequential to
Somebody
kill.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Power Fist is 5.
Okay, fair enough. Then Lightning Claw.
Yeah.
Just Lightning Claw and a Storm Shield. And I would take 2 by 3.
Yep. You could go up to 4 or whatever.
You could, yeah. Just see how the points fit out after that.
3 by 3 is also pretty good.
Yeah,
315.
If the points and slots work out, I'm also okay with that.
22 attacks when they go in with not double exploding 6s because Peaches doesn't do
Peaches
that.
doesn't do that. Yeah.
Doesn't do that, but single exploding 6s.
And Skyclaws are amazing. Skyclaws are 110 for the 4 Meltagun unit.
But yes, I think they made Thundercav actually like pretty good now.
Skyclaws are stupid, Jack. It's 110 for a 6-man with 1 Thunder Hammer, 1 Power Fist, 4 Melt-A-Guns. It's 110!
Did the chat fill you in?
No, I filled it in.
Oh, you looked it up. Okay.
Yeah. And I went and looked up, and it was 5 points cheaper than I thought. That's so, like, a 5-man Vanguard veteran squad costs more than that, and then you buy the war gear. And it's just running around like, I'm cheaper, more dudes, 4 Melt-A-Guns free. It's like, why?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, so they made each of the slots have like a good upgrade, you know, like a good unit to take.
Yeah, no, Sky Claws are crazy.
Thunderwolf Cav are very cheap and hit absurdly hard.
Yep.
They're just like way better Outriders.
Yeah, no,
Like,
they are
way better
embarrassingly
Outriders.
better than Outriders. I hate that part.
Yeah. And then Long Fangs are good, and yeah, it's a whole thing, huh?
Yeah, no,
Whole thing.
You got a lot of choices with the Space Wolves now. I think
right.
Space Wolves are really, really strong.
We have a $2 super chat from Tim Penny. 12 bomb squig list possible in arcs.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bomb squigs, my dude.
Let's also clarify, just because, you know what? Tim said in the chat, and I loved it. If you put your tank busters in a squig-off, they can hit on 4s. Because the Howdah. They won't take the heavy penalty.
That is cute. That's very cute. I think that's the point you don't take the tank hammer.
That's probably true, but I think that's the point where we decide that we want to buy a squig.
Yeah,
There's no reason Art of War shouldn't have a squig-off. Frankly, we should probably get a gargantuan one just to make sure.
I think we can sell that idea to Nick.
Yeah, well, we'll run that by leadership, Tim. I think
Let's see.
I think we need a squig-off in the house. Just one, you know. We'll give him a name. He'll be a good boy.
And then you can free reserve him, come in, fire 15 tank busters.
Boom!
And I'm pretty sure rules is written you can just drop a bomb squig out of the transport.
No, negative.
Negative?
Rules is written you can't, because it's measure a unit within 18 inches when you're chosen to shoot. And you're like, oh boy, what am I in range of? Absolutely nothing, you're on the sideboard. Because, like, transports gives you, like, measure your weapon range from this.
It's weird.
But also, maybe it is rules written. I don't really know. I'm just making it up because I don't like orcs.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no, we'd have to actually look.
And then we've got Big, or Bahig, or Big.
I think it's big.
Big! Welcome to the War Room.
Yeah, welcome to the War Room. We really appreciate it. Someone asked in the chat, by the way, how they get into the Discord now that they're a member of the Worm. Just want to answer that real quick and also work into the sales pitch. If you are a member and you are not in the Discord yet, you should have gotten an email. Check maybe your spam filters or something like that. If by any chance you didn't get an email, just send us an email and we'll sort it out. It's much easier to do it over an email than over a stream. And just email us at contact@theartofwar40k.com. So contact@theartofwar40k.com. Send us an email. We'll get you sorted on that. Apologies if you didn't get the email. It probably just got lost in an inbox or a spam filter, but just in case, you can go ahead and send us an email. We'll sort you out real quick. Now let's give the pitch. Perhaps you liked seeing us fix these lists. Perhaps you want your list fixed next week.
Yeah, you see the fixed list that people have, and then you look down at your list, and you're like,
By Jove, I wish that I had added 30 Storm Boys.
how could I have known?
Yes, how could I know? You got to put that in the Art of War Discord. Best way to get in the Art of War Discord, of course, is to become a member of this YouTube channel. Go down below, click the like button. Perhaps even share, subscribe. Tell Jack in the comments how handsome he is.
Yes,
I am how he needs a shirt with buttons.
I am the one who decides which lists go on stream.
That's true.
So a healthy dose of compliments.
Yeah, complimenting
really
Jack
brightens my day. And if you brighten my day, I'll brighten your day.
There you go. You can become a member of this channel, and that'll get you in the Discord. Or you can go to our website, theartofwar40k.com, and sign up to the Worm. Or go to our Patreon and sign up for our podcast bundle. Any of those get you access to the Discord. And if you're in the Worm, it is a wonderful, friendly place where that's myself, Jack, Nick Nonamati, Rich Siegler, Scary, so many other coaches are there to teach you everything you need to know about getting better at the game that we love. It's a wonderful, positive environment in the Discord. We've got a strong global community. It's a great place to hang out, ask questions, and just get positive feedback. There's no spam and trolling in there. It's just genuinely a positive environment, and I love it.
Absolutely. Well, I have a question to end on.
What's that?
Can I take 3 Squigoths?
Yes.
Put 3 units of Flash Gits in them, put 3 units of Tank Busters, 3 units of Ludas, and go on a rampage.
Can we make it free Buddhas?
Certainly can.
I don't know how the slots work out. I don't know what
I think that's 6 elites and 3 heavy.
Okay.
But if a Squigoth is heavy, then
I have no idea what a Squigoth is, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, we're gonna find out though.
Then the Ludas get left at home, and I'm very sad. Oh no. All All right, let's round us out on our last super chat, $5 super chat from Kellen Foster.
Thank you, Kellen.
Thinking of adding 2 Predator Annihilators with las cannons and a Warp Smith to my Disciples of Be'lakor list to have some long-range anti-tank. Thoughts?
I actually kind of like, if you were already in a demon list and you're trying to pay your taxes, because, Be'lakor really likes making people pay their taxes. Like the IRS
really
over
does.
there. I don't mind that, but I would supplement that, perhaps, with skull cannons. I feel like if I'm adding...
You what?
That genuinely, I think skull cannons are good.
Okay. I'm looking
after a skull cannon killed 3 Zoanthropes in one shot, I decided they were broken.
That's impossible.
It is not. It's D3 plus 3 2 damage shots. You simply have to get 3, hit, wound, and then have me not make a save, Jack. That's all that has to happen.
You have to get 6. A roll of 3.
Yeah, on the D3 plus 3.
And then hit wound. Don't. No, you're...
It's possible, and it happened.
You've got...
Okay, I don't know what to tell you, Jack. After that happened, I decided skull cannons were away. All jokes aside, I think that's one good way to add anti-tank to a list, but I think I might rather have some Korvax Knights be my...
Yeah, it's probably better.
I think Korvax Knights are going to be a little bit more points efficient. Just some Armigers.
What about Worthy Offerings?
No. Korvax.
Why?
Your Disciples of Be'lakor. Korvax.
Right, you don't get Worthy Offerings. You get Korvax and you like it.
You get Korvax and you like it.
Yeah.
Korvax and I would say some Korvax War Dogs to add a little bit of range, and a couple Skull Cannons sneaking in to pay the Corn tax. And
Skull Cannons went down 10, I believe.
And you actually have a very respectable amount of long-ranged anti-tank fire. And it's not, none of it is crazy anti-tank fire, but it all adds up, and it kills medium and light infantry and Zoanthropes really well.
Yeah.
Specifically that.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that takes us out.
There we
Adios, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.